So Tony, what we do is my friend Dave and I we come out and we have conversations with people about what they think is true and how they've arrived at a conclusion that something might be true, something that they believe, and it's a really interesting conversation, or more interesting if it's a belief that changes your behavior in some way in the real world, that you modify your behavior because you have this belief. For examples, I've had conversations about the coronavirus and whether it was manufactured in a lab or whether it was, natural. Had conversations about the vaccine,
Right.
about political candidates, religious topics, God beliefs. I just had a conversation with Hilton about karma.
Okay.
He believed karma was real.
hmm
Um, so is there a topic along those lines that you'd like to talk about?
Homelessness.
Homelessness. Okay. What about homelessness?
About Charleston. Do they care about us?
Does Charleston care?
Right.
So what do you think?
They don't.
Okay, so your belief is that Charleston, I guess you're talking about the city of Charleston, does
Right.
not care
Nope.
about
They
homeless
don't.
people.
All they care about is tourists.
Um, so what what is it that kind of convinces you that that's the case? Is there any one thing? Is it a number of things, or
So a lot of things because I mean, there's a lot of people that loses things. And there's people out there that do drugs and stuff like that. But there's people that are lost places for other reasons. You know what I'm saying? To become homeless. But Charleston doesn't have shelters for homeless people. So people that stay down here, the sheriff come and you go to jail. If they catch you sleeping on a bench right there, you're going to jail. That's what they do. They try to get rid of everybody down here because this is their money
they're
thing.
tourists too?
This is
Right,
money.
right,
But why wouldn't you care for the people that live here that are homeless?
right. Um, are you seeing any indication at all that does Charleston provide any services? Do they give any?
It's hard to get on services. They have this one place called 180, and it you got a waiting list for probably a year or more, and then they don't do nothing, man. They want to take you out of here, put you in jail, and then you go to jail. You go to jail. You come back, and then when you got to do it all over
Do it
again.
all over again.
And
Um, what would the city of Charleston do, or what could they do that would um, maybe help increase your belief that they do care about homeless people? What would be some things that they could do?
they should open up a shelter or something. Another,
Shelter.
yeah,
So if they opened up a shelter, then you would be more confident then that Charleston does care about homeless
right.
people. If they stopped arresting people for sleeping, would that would also be maybe something?
I mean, because most of the people that do sleep, they're gone in the morning. You know what I'm saying? They're there, sleep, boom, and they gone. But
Right.
they don't care. They got no sleeping in parks during the night. And then if they come, they wake you up, you go in jail.
Right.
And you go spend 10, 20 days in there
10 or 20 days
for
for sleeping in a
for
park.
sleeping in a park. I mean, it's boys used to be the bridge over here, and the sheriff went and took all their tents and everything,
Right.
got rid of them.
Got rid of them.
Yeah,
What do you think would be some ways that you could change the city? What do you think would be some things that you could do that would maybe make a difference?
they could do fundraisers and stuff like that. See, churches, the churches here are very, they're very helpful. They do a
Okay.
lot. They do a lot. But they could be doing fundraisers for homeless people, hunger, and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, all they care about is the tourists. That's
All they
all.
care about is the tourists.
That's all they do. It's all
Right.
about the money to these people.
And so I guess you think that the people in general are important, not just the tourists, but everybody. Is that
Right, that's right.
right?
Everybody.
Everybody's important. All right. Well, I don't think I would disagree with that at all. Um, well, Tony, I mean, that's a great conversation. You have any questions for me?
I just hope that it gets out there.
Well, I think Dave will probably put it on his YouTube channel, and certainly something that I know that I'm passionate about, just like you. My wife is passionate about it. That um, we have a heart for homeless people. We have a heart for people who are in bad situations, and we certainly understand people find themselves in situations sometimes that through no fault of their own.
Right.
And we have had many conversations about
Mhm.
being like you, probably a little disapproving of how people have been are treated. So
Right,
yeah.
right. Mhm.
So you got any questions for me, Tony?
No, man.
All right, man. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
I'm right.
Tony, right?
Yep.
Good to meet you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Tony.
All right.
All right.
Who's next? How'd that one go for you?
Well, I didn't see it as a belief really that's going to modify his behavior in any way, perhaps. So it was a little difficult, and obviously it's always something that I agree with.
Yeah, how do the questions change based on whether you agree with it or not?
I try to not let it change,
Uh-huh.
right? But I think obviously our own biases are always going to play a role, right?
How do you address that?
Being cognitive of it, just know that I have the bias and try to set those biases aside and be neutral about it and pretend perhaps that I might even take the opposite stance, whether I agree with it or not.
Being aware of it and just knowing that it could be in play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can mitigate. If you don't know it's there and you don't know that you have the bias, like most people, we ask people, most people know what cognitive bias is or implicit bias is. But once you understand those things, then you're able to mitigate them, right? You have to understand that about yourself. You understand how your brain works,
Yeah.
And not that I'm the world's smartest guy or anything, but I mean, just stuff that I've not known all my life, and matter of fact, probably most of this I've just learned within the last 4 or 5 years, right? So I think it's you're never too old to learn.
Yeah.
I'm a lifelong learner. I'm going on 62 next month, and I love learning. I love finding out new stuff, and I love challenging myself.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to stop learning and stop finding out things.
It's never too late to be less wrong.
That's right. That's right.